All right. So thank y'all for hopping on. I know you got a busy uh, work life and parent life and life, going on. So thank you for taking the time to hop on here for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
So what part of the world are you guys in? Or
Anson, Texas,
Anson, Texas?
which is
Where?
western Texas. It's by Abilene. So
Gotcha.
between Abilene and Lubbock, Abilene and Midland, something like that.
Something like that.
Western, northern, central, western, northern, central Texas.
So basically, you're not east or south. You could
No,
be anywhere else.
yeah, not where all the good cities.
I got
You're
you.
not where you want to be. That's for sure.
So how did you? Are you both from that area originally?
I am not. I grew up around Denton, Texas, Central
Okay.
Texas, North Central, and Chrissy, she grew up around here.
I grew up about 10 minutes from here. So I can technically say I love my hometown, but I really
Just to go through one stoplight to another.
I left for a little while and I explored and just,
That's the way that usually works, right?
mm-hmm.
yeah.
But I left
But
my hometown, but for a smaller town, so I really don't think that counts. I don't know.
understand. I've never been to that part of Texas at all. I guess when I was a kid, my dad lived in Irving or Grand Prairie, so that's as far, and I don't remember anything about it really. Now he lives in East Texas, so different
Most
world.
people in East or South Texas don't usually travel further West Texas.
They don't have a reason to.
It's us Westerners that always travel around the rest of Texas because it's
Unless you're going to a football
yeah.
game. Love it.
But
Well, I guess I should have. I should have actually started this by getting you guys to like introduce yourself. As you know, I have Della Rose on the screen there, but um, you know, uh, like you actually have names too. So I
Not
should have.
Della.
Oh
We get that a lot.
man,
We get that all the time. Yeah.
who's Della and who's Rose?
Sometimes we just go with it. You know.
you should be like, my name's Hootie.
Oh, who's Della? Yeah.
My name is
But,
Hootie, and this is the Blowfish.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. My name is Emily.
And I'm Chrissy. And we are Della Rose.
did you did you work on that?
No.
No,
So much.
you didn't
like-
count that in like a cheer.
Yeah.
You know, where are you from?
I'm in West
Irving.
Tennessee. I'm near Memphis.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You said it lived in Wisconsin.
Oh,
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
visited.
Dad
Taking
lives
notes.
near Tyler in the Tyler Longview Metroplex. Different Metroplex.
Familiar.
I got you. So you stayed in town and you or moved to that area. Did you know each other before you moved, or did you start playing music after you moved to the small town?
So I actually did live in Nashville for a little bit,
Okay.
but I never played music.
Hmm.
This was before I went to Belmont for college,
Okay.
and I was too shy to play any sort of music. And then I moved back to Texas and met Emily at a songwriter competition that was in our like local town. It was like a super small scale songwriting competition, and it just happened to be where both of us had played our first round of music. Like she had not played music for anybody either, and
We were both real nervous.
we were both just really jumping out on a limb with
Yeah.
this songwriter competition, and we met each other. And after that, it became this thing of like we kind of started jumping out into the scene, and we started playing at these just like local dive bars, and we ended up harmonizing with each other just kind of naturally, playing song swaps and stuff. And I mean, it just kind of grew from there. It didn't really. It was a very gradual thing.
Yeah.
I
We
feel
both did like our solo thing for a little bit, like when we were fresh out And then we realized it's so much more fun to play together. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of boring when you have to do it by yourself sometimes. So.
So you were too shy to sing and everything. And while in college, you moved back to Texas. When did you finally get I don't like, lack of better words, guts to do that? Because I mean I know it takes some, you know, some guts to stand in front up in front of people and you know, be
Oh,
vulnerable like that. So
especially to sing your own songs, like songs that you wrote. It takes guts to get up and sing any song in front of
yes.
everyone. But especially to sing a song that you wrote, and this was a songwriter competition. So, I really don't know. Honestly, I think just being in Nashville for so long and getting inspiration from like my friends and other songwriters that I'd seen in the city. And then I came home and it was one of my friends that was like, "Hey, there's a songwriter competition at the local bar. You should sign up." And I don't know what it was. Just on a whim, I was like, "Yeah, okay, I should sign up. Then I'll do it. I've got a song. This is back when I had one original song, you know." And I was like, "Okay, I'll play it. I'll play it for people." And so, I mean, it just kind of.
I think I was in the same boat. I think I had like one song. I didn't even have I had to borrow a guitar for the competition. I only
So,
had like a straight acoustic,
so you had to be
didn't have-
nice to the people at the competition so you could borrow their guitar.
No, I borrowed one from my friend because
Okay.
he had one that had an electric hookup, and I just had a straight acoustic, and I didn't have a pickup, so I had to borrow his guitar for the competition. It was really sad, but we did great. We both ended up winning that,
And so it was worth it.
I actually was invited to a songwriters round next week in my little hometown, and I was like, you know, kind of the same thing what y'all were saying. I got like a couple songs, and then I'm thinking I probably can't play that song in this setting. I probably can't play that song either. And then I'm like down to two. Like, dog.
Yeah.
I can't play the Kiss My Ass song. I can't play that one. I can't say. Yeah, it whittled it down really fast. I wasn't near as prepared for this as I thought I was. But I got my own guitar though, so that's good.
So the next round we had to have more than one song.
I know, yeah, that's the thing to it. And I mean, in multiple songwriter competitions, even that we've been in since then. I mean, we did the LJT songwriter competition a couple months back, and it was still like you want to put forth your best songs first, and then you advance, and then it's like, oh, what do we play now? Or shoot, sorry, what do we play now? And you like, we don't have just like a bank full of hits in our back pocket. So
I also think that you always think like your best song is the one you're most excited about at the time, which is usually a
the newest
one.
ones. Yeah.
So like, even though we have good ones that we've played for years, like in our mind, we're like, oh, it's no, we
That
need
was
better.
trash.
We need
new
something else. So remember that.
So on the second song, you're like, and here is a song I wrote called Tuesday's Gone, or something like that, right? So you started with all these the more of the songwriters rounds and everything, and I was able to do a little bit of homework, and these days you've kind of steered away from the female duo singer songwriter thing a little bit, right? And aren't you? You're kind of leaning more towards having a rocking band behind you, right?
Yeah. So we just, and not that we don't enjoy the acoustic singer songwriter stuff anymore, but with our full band, it's just it's so much energy on stage, and it's so much I don't know, we're able to vibe with everybody on stage, and it's such an uplifting, it's a more uplifting kind of experience. Whereas
a lot more energy for sure.
it is, I mean, technically it still is singer songwriter because we're playing all of our original songs.
Right,
you know?
I understand.
We'll throw in a few covers every now and then, but there's just so much more energy, and we really like to we get to perform more when we play with the full band.
Mhm.
Whereas with our acoustic sets, we a lot of times our acoustic sets are longer. So I mean, sometimes they're like 2 to 3 hour acoustic sets.
Yeah,
so,
we're not quite like the listening crowd acoustic sets yet.
I would
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, if we were playing like a 1 hour where everyone was super invested in our acoustic sets, it might be different. But right now, we still throw a lot of covers into our acoustic sets, and it's just full band. It's like our original music, and we hit it hard, and we have a really great time on stage. So that is kind of what we push for.
It's a team effort.
Yeah,
with the
100%.
band.
Well, it fits our style too a lot better because it's hard for us to bring like the energy and like the more rock vibe with just acoustic guitar, you know. So
yeah, I love it. I love it when you're doing an acoustic gig and somebody wants to hear something.
Not on the guitars.
I love when you're doing an acoustic set and the people are like, I want to play something we can dance to. You're like,
boogie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah. No, I agree.
It would seem like, to me anyway, as far as with the band, especially if it's people that you really like, it is definitely like a team effort to go and win over everybody. I mean, I would have you been able to tell, since you've been in both of those worlds like that, can you tell the difference in like winning over a crowd with the duo acoustic compared to a band, like full band? Does the light bulb go off even quicker with the full band?
For sure, totally. And I'm a victim to that too. Like I know that we're supposed to be the ones that kind of like influence the crowd, but I unfortunately let the crowd influence me. So if the crowd is super into it from the get-go, like if they like our voices, and whether it's acoustic or full band, but especially acoustic when the vibe is not as high energy, like if they're into it, I'll start talking, I'll start, engaging a lot, and I'll start bringing them into the songs and stuff. But if I can see that they're just totally not even listening, they're not vibing, they're not having a good time, then I start playing the next song, and so
yeah. And we do like some acoustic stuff in our full band. We like squeeze it in there just to like a little bit more intimate set, because our full band stuff is so like in your face a lot of the times.
Yeah,
we try to like sprinkle in a little soft touch.
Right. That's why I think our full band does help a lot to engage the crowd, because you cannot ignore when we have the guys behind us. Like you can't ignore. Yeah. When we're acoustic, you can absolutely ignore us all night, and like
no,
you won't even. You I just mean, our full band.
Enjoy your burger. Listen to me.
Right. Exactly.
Our full band. So, like you said, our full band is very in. So it's a lot harder to just like sit and be quiet and not engage when we're full band. That's because when we're acoustic, and we do play more covers, and we're doing, for sure.
So it would. Yeah, no, I can completely. I understand that. One would you would lean more on your. I would guess you would lean more on your harmonies and your songwriting, even more to a duo. But full band, you're bringing the party.
Yeah, so. That's true. I mean, our harmonies don't change too with full band. I mean, the harmonies are still super prominent when we play full band, and I feel like the full band just adds to the harmonies that we already do.
That's great. To be honest, when one of the questions I thought of, since you guys really do base a lot of what you do with is your harmony parts are extremely important to what you do when your sound. So when I say, I guess for both of you, when I say just the word harmony in music, who's the artist band that pops in your mind first? Because I'm curious where you both go on that.
When you say harmony, okay.
I don't have three in my head right now.
I know, I got a few.
Yeah, like from like.
So if we're talking from like a Nashville standpoint, and like
it doesn't matter whoever it is.
Doesn't matter.
The Dixie Chicks were the first one that popped in my head, and then the Rectors.
Oh
yeah.
See, I thought a Little Big Town.
Okay, yeah.
I love like here's what I like about Little Big Town is that, and which I feel like translates to us.
Mm-hmm.
Little Big Town is like they have their 4-part harmonies, and you sometimes can't even tell which one is the melody. Like they're all singing full volume, and they're all giving like an equal parts harmony. You know?
No, yeah, for sure.
And I feel like we do too. It's not like
when they switch off, I think on melody too.
yeah.
It's not always the same.
At any given point, one of the guys or one of the girls could be singing melody. They all like really share equal parts of the vocals, and I feel like that's what makes us different too. Is like people have asked us as well, like who's the lead and who's the harmony and who's the who's the lead singer and who's the backup. Neither one of us.
Yeah,
like,
we switch off.
We share very equal parts, melody and harmony
throughout the song.
yeah. Throughout any of our songs.
Well, and I think that's like one thing I think Presley Hill said is like how seamlessly we switch from like harmony to melody.
Yeah.
Is like one thing that was unique for us.
Mm-hmm.
Was that extremely natural when you guys started that? How did you find that together?
We didn't always hit them. Like it takes a while to find them on some songs, but I feel like it was never something that I had to like consciously be like, okay, I have to harmonize. I don't know. And
I feel like both of us, we both root for each other very well.
Yeah.
And so I don't like from the get go, neither one of us was like, okay, it needs to be this way, and like neither one of us was like very aggressive.
We weren't afraid to share the spotlight. Like we were both.
Yeah.
Like, we wanted to share it, like being it together. So I think that helped. Like make it easier.
That's why you
feel more confident to like try, and then you hit it easier when you're confident. So.
Was that something that when you first started hanging out together that you both had in mind that you wanted to sing, your music to be like that?
I don't think it was something I first had in mind. I really think it was something that came very gradually and naturally, like as we did song swaps and stuff. It wasn't something that I heard her sing and I wasn't like, I want her to be my duo partner and sing harmony. And it was just like, we just ended up singing harmonies together. Like our song swaps were covers back then.
Yeah.
It was all covers, and we just kind of like naturally picked up these harmonies, and then we would go and play solo, and I would be like, damn, this song doesn't sound the same without her harmonies behind it. And
so you would do these covers and everything, and then you would kind of just join in when it felt right, and then it kind of
because these song swaps that we were playing, they were not listening rooms, they were like barbecue patios. And
then we started doing this like where it was like a 4-girl thing, and so we started harmonizing with different people, and I think that helped really like grow our harmonies. But we would bring in, like, Caitlin Butts came in and sang with us one time, and that's actually how she ended up recording one of the songs that we wrote, because she heard it that night. Yeah, plus
opening for her this Friday in Denver, Globe Hall. Alert.
Plug, huh? So that I like to ask about stuff like that as far as when you guys are going to open for Caitlin this weekend in Denver.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the what is the date? Either way, this weekend. Today is the 17th. When you're playing these gigs like this and you're opening up for people, and they're that's going to be a mostly Caitlin Butts crowd. So when you walk in front of it, like you see the light bulbs go off with people, when they're starting to dig what you're doing. Like I think I ask everybody this, but I'm always fascinated to get your feedback on it. How does that feel because you're driving from not East Texas to Denver, you know what I mean? Hauling a band up there and everything, and you're playing in front of, that basically strangers or whatever. When you see those light bulbs go off, like how does that feel to know that you're connecting like that?
It's amazing. I mean, it feels great to like just. I think organic fans are like the best. Like, of course, your friends and family, you hope they support you, but like just gaining an organic fan base just from like playing your shows live in front of them, and then they become fans. Like, I think that's the best feeling like ever, because it's very validating for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, honestly, people have asked us too, like, where we want to be in 5 years or whatever. I really love where we are now. I love opening for people. I like, yeah, it would be cool to headline all these like big arenas and all these big venues and stuff, but I love right now getting to open and play my best songs for an hour and meeting cool artists, and especially someone like Caitlin Butts, who I feel like her personality is a lot like ours. I feel like her
energy and stuff.
Her energy. Like our music has a little bit of different styles, but I feel like the root of it is a lot the same. So, I'm super excited to open for her this Friday because I feel like her crowd is gonna really enjoy what we do too. Yeah. And especially, I mean, in this industry, like. I don't mean to make it about this, but females sometimes have a harder time, attracting a big crowd and stuff. So to know that all the people that are going to be there are already going to support,
they're already bought into that.
They're already invested in like women in country music or women in women in music in general. So super pumped for this Friday. Yeah. Hopefully they enjoy it just as much as I hope they will. And I'm not just picking it up, and they're like. No.
Turns out we are not playing in Denver this weekend. Have you? And we can touch on that a little bit if you want to, and you don't have to answer anything that you guys aren't comfortable answering. But the stigma part to females in music in general. Have you had to deal with that very much as of now, or has it been pretty? Like I said, you don't, if there's something you don't want to get involved in,
Oh yes, you can. Okay, yeah, yep.
We did get turned down to open a show because we gave too much mom vibe.
Yeah, we
because the crowd are not going to be moms. I mean,
apparently, or dads, or anybody that likes to make children.
No, dads are fine.
Oh yeah,
dads are fine.
If they have moms, they have babies with them.
Dads are fine. Deadbeat dads are fine. Any kind of dad is fine.
That's
yeah. I think that was the biggest.
Yeah, not just being women, but being moms, being mothers. Apparently,
how dare you?
It's just that like rock and roll hard ass that people. So yeah, we did. We honestly that's
so. What do you think that was?
Do what?
They didn't think that you would be able to rock and roll because you had a kid?
It makes no sense, right?
Okay, but I was just making sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, definitely weird, but it just made us want to just like rock harder, honestly. But it was just like probably the most absurd like woman.
I think that was the
comment that we received, or like that the show we did not get because of that comment. There's
probably been tons of stuff this time.
That was just one we're aware of.
Yeah, that's just one that we're aware of.
Understood.
And we have gotten a lot, or at least I have, especially playing solo acoustic. A lot of people think it's a compliment when you go up to them and they're like, "Listen, I usually hate female singers, but you were actually pretty good." I'm like, "That's not the compliment that you think it is." Yeah, but I've gotten it several times. Yeah, that people are like, "Listen, I usually hate female singers, but like, you were actually all right." Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm guilty of tuning out a lot of female country singers that, well, not just, I guess it's probably a lot of people, especially these days I'm guilty of tuning out things that sound the same. Yeah. And in country music in certain time periods, there's a lot of the women, and it's probably not the artist's fault or their call, to be honest. It's probably somebody else pushing them to sound a certain way. So it's not really fair, but it is what it is. I tend that because I like authentic music for the most part, you know what I mean? And when it loses that, I don't, like I love Patti Loveless and I love all these different artists like that, you know what I mean? But they're real. And, but a lot of female country.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Have been big and people like that.
I said then you get all these replicas and it's not the same.
Right. And you know, like I'm also not a huge fan of like big, like proper voice country music. Does that make sense? Like I like Martina McBride just fine, but she's not going to be my favorite because she's. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that as well.
I personally am a Miranda Lambert over Carrie Underwood.
Yes,
Like I like listening
that's an
to
example.
someone.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm using another woman to compare. But,
Well, no, I get what you mean. Well, I mean, not everybody has these views. I can, I mean, and I mean, they're wrong, but you know, whatever. Um,
it's like raw heart and soul when they sing and write music, and and I feel like man or woman, when I see that, I think it's great.
Yes.
I think it's beautiful, and I think when people try to,
But I don't think that's specific to gender.
no, it's not.
There's so many guys that are trying to be like Tyler Childers, trying to be like Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
It seems like
you know.
it seems like it's even more these days.
Oh, 100%. Because it's all social media, and so it's like if you can make a big hit trying to sound like somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
but that doesn't last long usually.
No, not at all.
Several people that I've had the opportunity to talk to about this, some of the things they mentioned was not having that they would rather not have a one festival, Texas festival song where they're playing for a couple months off of it, and then they want a career off of it, and that's really good thinking as far as you can tell what they're wanting. They don't want to have a quick flash in the pan. They want a lifelong career out of it, which is that's a different way of thinking.
I agree. Oh, I would never want to be like a one-hit wonder type of band. And even like some of the people that I've heard talk about, like if their song makes it big on TikTok, it's like it's cool and it gets them a lot of streams on that one song, but then they're forever known as like the TikTok song, you know, and it's like people don't listen to their albums; they just go listen to that one clip of the song.
I think that's what I was talking about earlier, like with the organic fan base means so much more than just like your one video went viral and then you get booked these great venues because you have a ton of Spotify streams or something. But
you said hot tool.
Nobody.
Too bad you didn't come up with that.
But did she?
I don't know.
She did. The camera wasn't on. So when when you play those gigs like that in Denver, like you're going to this weekend with Caitlin Butts, and you see the light bulb go off on these fans and everything, and they like you're talking about building an authentic fan base, they're probably going to be the ones that are more out to share your music with people and help it multiply.
Yeah, one, I mean, sharing music, absolutely. But then we've built some organic fans that, like, just sharing our stuff on social media, like where we're going to be at any certain date, and they're sharing it, and they're tagging their friends to go to this show, or they're, it's all part of the process of building a bigger fan base. And you don't get that when you have like a one quick hit or a viral video, or so
if you could transition one into the other, that would be ideal, but it doesn't always happen like that. So that's the bad part about it.
Like, yeah, I would love to have a viral video and have
yeah, I understand. Can mom not have to have a job and play music? That would be wonderful, right? But so I want to come back on that part too, because I like to talk about how the parts of this whole thing that is not glamorous. But when you're playing again in Denver this weekend with opening for Caitlin Butts, and you see the light bulbs go off, and people meet you at the merch stand, like how. You know what I mean? I'm sure on social media you love it when people make comments and they share stuff and all that. But when people get to meet you, when you get to meet people face to face, shake a hand, sell a koozie, I'm sure that's got to be a really cool feeling and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I don't ever want to lose it. Like, I don't ever want to get to the point where it's like, ugh, I gotta go like shake hands and say hi and do, like I love that right now, and I love meeting people who, like, we've met people at shows that are like, oh, we saw you 3 times in Granbury last year, and we love y'all so much. Like, people that I never met, that I never knew went to these shows. They are like,
That's
oh,
great.
we saw you. Yeah, this is our 5th time to see you, and I love that so much, and I will end up. I'll be like, yeah, where are you from? Like, I'll start talking, like, having a conversation with. And the band gets really mad at me sometimes because sometimes I'll be like, well, I knew you were about to say it. The band gets really mad at me because I'll start like chit chatting with these people and I won't unload off stage. It's amazing. She's like, what happened?
Yeah, but you're doing your job. You're building a fan base.
Doing the work, okay?
I know it's fun up there.
Yeah.
Rolling up chords.
Also, I don't know why they think everything has to be unloaded 5 minutes after we get off stage. Even when we're headlining, they think it all has to be taken off immediately. So yeah, I love having conversations with people. I love meeting people.
So you're out there talking and everything, and she's like throwing chords in the box. You know what I mean? Like all you can hear is doof, doof on the stage.
And I'm like, don't worry about them. Where are you from? Yeah.
Exactly. The other one's like, boy, that one singer, she's really nice, but the rest of the band seem mad.
Yeah. I know, and I'm like, they're all mad at me. No, I love it. I genuinely enjoy when someone comes up and they're like, or they like reference a specific song that helped them through some whatever kind of time, or they
or it's like, that's another thing, is like people that like this is their first time hearing us, and they may hear a song that is an original and like we played in the first set or something, and then by the end of the thing they still like come up and like remember that song. Like, we've had people be like, I put it in my phone because like I heard the lyrics and like it meant like, and so that means a lot too.
When
like,
you don't even think you're playing for like a listening crowd. Yeah. Sometimes it's like a hopping bar and everybody's talking and it's not really like a listening crowd, and they're in there putting your lyrics on their phone so they can remember your song. And then you're done, and somebody, the person is like, I heard that one song and it really stuck with me, and I like saved it to my playlist. Yeah, that's a cool. That's really cool. So cool.
Yeah, I imagine so. So when you had songs separately and everything at the beginning, or at least one song, and a guitar, right, at the very beginning. And you started writing songs pretty much immediately after the fact, after getting together, or did that start something that kind of had to grow? You had to grow into.
We haven't covered a lot.
Yeah, we really don't write a lot together.
Okay.
Started trying to do that more. It's just, honestly, it's just really hard to find time to fit together. All the toddlers running around and trying to like focus on writing a song. But we have tried to get better at like sitting down to write a song. But most of the songs that we've recorded are either I wrote or she wrote independently.
I got you.
Also, both of us are very much like impulse writers.
Yeah.
And so like we don't have a process. It's not like we're like, okay, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'm gonna sit down with my candle and I'm gonna like write. Mm-hmm. It for both of us, it comes so off the cuff that like we'll hear a melody when we're out somewhere and we'll just start writing, and we'll eventually finish it and then send it to the other person and be like, hey, what do you think of this song? Yeah. And so, we really never get that time to just sit down and be like, okay, I have this idea, let's work it out.
Yeah. Quiet time. What is that?
You're probably able to you're probably able to talk about stuff like that more on the road than you are at home, aren't you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's what we need to do on our way to Denver, is be like, hey, let's write a song with these next 10 hours that we have.
Yeah, like just like driving. Like there's been times where I've been at work and I'm like, I think of something, I'm like running home so I can like get it down real quick. Because I'm like, yeah,
you've done that
I've done that quite a bit, yeah. Because it's like, I actually have my own brain for a minute and I get to use it for myself.
Yeah.
So is that how you write as far as either one or both of you? Do you write by just like having a notepad in your phone full of one-liners or melodies
Yeah.
first? Like what usually comes first, or is
I'm
it
a
all
lyric.
over the place?
Well, I'm more of a lyric person. Sometimes I just write poems and then turn them into songs or something. I'm definitely more of the lyric person, and she's more of a melody.
I'm more of a melody gal.
That's
So
great.
I will hear some kind of tune, some kind of hum. And so, yeah, a lot of my voice memos is full of just like,
And my notes are all like one thing. Like,
yeah. So,
I can imagine how that would be.
yeah, it's hilarious.
Check this out that I wrote, and then she hits play, and it's it's beautiful.
Like, where do you think we can take that?
What do you think about this one line that I wrote?
Right? Yeah. Let's just put your line to my little and we can make it work.
You got it. I mean, most of the time, I mean, no, I don't have very many songs that I've ever written, but it did start with a line that I liked that came to mind. You know, that's usually where that everything, whether it's in the hook or not, it's where it starts to base from, anyways.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Sometimes I will get a line. I mean, I'm mostly melody. I'm mostly tune, and I hear how the harmony sounds. But sometimes I will get a line, and I'll write it down. But I never do anything. I can't ever bring it to fruition. So,
Yeah, I was actually writing something today, and it was like I could not figure out a melody for it, so I just made it like into like a R&B song. Like whatever. It's gonna be Billie Eilish or something. I don't know. Yeah, but I mean the words are there, so I'll just hand it to her, and she can make a melody.
and she's done that before. She's sent me lyrics to song, and she'd be like, "Can you do something with this? Can you like put a melody to this?" And then, so
So do
very
you
much
now that you, as far as you, how long have you guys been together? I didn't ask that part earlier.
Actually playing pretty frequently. Like,
Hmm.
well, we got together right before COVID.
Yeah, we got to like we officially started like Della Rose, named the band and everything right before COVID.
Well, we did it a few years before that, but then we did nothing with it. And then we actually started. We got invited to play the NFR in Vegas, and so we were like, "Oh, let's do something now."
This was the time to announce Della Rose. Yeah, this is our. We thought that was our like jumping off point.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later,
The world shut down. No.
yeah, world shut down. So
So really, I mean, I guess 3 years. Really, think about excluding COVID out of it. Or
yeah, I'd say 4. Because August 2020, we still played the Farmers Fest. Yeah, pretty Della Rosie.
was pretty well right.
It was like a pretty good comeback.
The comeback
Right.
tour.
That's what with Willie Nelson.
Oh yeah, that sucked. Sucked so bad. We dude, March 2020, like when COVID happened, literally the week before, we won this local songwriting competition where we were going to perform at Outlaws and Legends in Abilene, and Willie Nelson was the headliner. We were stoked, so thrilled. And then, of course, COVID happened, and then we thought they were just maybe going to like postpone until the next year. But of course, Willie's not just going to be like young and spry for the next.
Right.
We don't know how long. So
Yeah.
he ended up canceling, and we played the next fest. I think it was like this Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. But we were like, we won that competition. We were like, oh my God, we're just looking for Willie. And then
Did you tell him this is Willie not the same?
we were gonna open before the openers for Willie.
But still on the same bill.
On the same bill.
You can still see the smoke. It's okay, right? Okay, so I was gonna ask one thing, but I want to bounce onto that. So, who are some people that you've run into in that you've kind of been starstruck by, or just surprised you're in the same room by, or anything like that? Anybody that's kind of a oh shit moment? Any of those happen yet?
Let me see. I know that there is.
Or just people that
We have
that you listen to, and you got to kind of be around on the bills.
Shane Smith, that was a big one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
We got to open for them. Was it? No, it was 2 years, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We got to open for them, and like the thing with opening for big bands like that, a lot of times they never see your set. Like they're out on their tour bus, or they're and you don't usually talk to them. That's what, like, people outside of the music scene, you're like, oh, you're opening for so and so. Like, can you get me in to meet
Yeah, I
them?
understand.
I can't even meet them. Nope. But when we opened for Shane Smith, they were super cool. We played our set, and they told us after, like, they complimented us on how we played, and we got to hang out with them for a brief moment after and kind of meet the band, and they were very, very cool. So that was definitely a big, I think, moment for us.
Carter. That was pretty
Tina
cool.
Carter, yeah. We got to see her for a picture
That she,
and then
she had to take. She was like, wanted.
When
I get it. I mean,
when you play these opening spots for people like Shane Smith and the Saints, or Caitlin Butts this weekend in Denver, can you see like the stats move on your socials, or your streams or anything like that? Can you like see a correlation between those things like that? Does that make sense?
I haven't noticed so much on our streams. I know on our socials, because like the venue or Caitlin will share. It's mostly on our stories, I guess, because the venue or Caitlin will share stories with us tagged in it, and so we can see who views our stories. And I noticed there's a lot more new viewers on our stories and stuff.
I feel like every time we've opened for somebody, we've gained social media followers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially
Like,
someone big like
Yeah.
Caitlin.
But I feel like,
Shane.
honestly, anytime we play a new venue, we gain some social media followers. I mean, it may not be 100 every time, but it's still,
it's never drafted.
It's like we're lint rollers.
We don't just want to have those organic fans.
Yeah, but hey, the lint rollers will always be needed, so you're safe. And people have one in every car and every, I know how it goes.
Car always just pick
What? I was gonna ask, but before I forget about it, when you guys are writing your songs and everything like that, and I know you're more melody, you're more on the lyrics, but when you're starting to hammer out the details and the harmony parts and everything like that, is that coming together quicker now than that? How do you decide that part? I guess would be the question.
Like who does melody and who does harmony?
Well, for whatever song it is, you know what I mean? I know these different songs, like, how do you sort that out now especially compared to a few years ago? Does that seem more natural to find all that now?
Yeah.
I think it does, yeah.
I think so. And I think we're so much more comfortable with each other now. Like a few years ago when we first started, I think it was like, again, because we want each other in the spotlight. Neither of us wanted to hog it too much, that it was like for every song, it was like, let's split it directly down the middle.
Yeah.
Like, you sing a verse, I'll sing a verse. You sing a chorus, I'll sing it. But now I think we're so much more acclimated to each other that it's like, because she sings a lot better head voice and the lower voice than I do. I'm more of like a belter. So with whatever song that we write, I feel like we can identify each other's parts a lot more easily.
Who needs to do that? Yeah.
Yeah, and like we're working on a song right now in the studio it has a lot of belty parts, and it has a lot of like really low, soft, just like really sultry stuff. And so she takes all the sultry stuff, and I take the belty stuff, and it's just
Yeah.
Tell
Well,
me-
that was that song was one that like the harmonies, like we were over here at your house and like you just started singing it and like the harmonies just came super natural.
yeah.
It was just like they just hit really well.
Yeah.
so
And I think go ahead.
I was just going to say at the beginning, you're kind of more worried about stepping on each other's territory and you know, looking out for the other person. And not to say that you aren't now, but now it's probably looking out for the song, right? Because you're not worried about.
100%. Yeah. And I was gonna say, even if it is one of those songs that's like more kind of in the mid sec, you know, there's not a super strong part on either side. We kind of rely on who wrote it, like who identifies with it.
Who has
more.
a connection?
Just that like raw emotion into it.
Yeah, as we had said earlier, like it's usually like she wrote it or I wrote it. We try to do correct, but a lot of times it's a she wrote it or I wrote it. So if it's a song that she wrote and she's really invested in it and she really loves some of the lines that she wrote, I'm like, you sing that part, and I'll take a verse, I'll take the bridge, and you kind of do the rest, and I'll just add on with harmonies. So it really just depends on the song, but I really do think we try to split it pretty equally.
Talbo in the chat said that you sing the angry part. You sing the angry harmony.
That comes with being a belter. Sometimes I get the grit, sometimes I get the growl. It just
I'm asleep.
She's
Well, well, do y'all want to? I just noticed like we're already kind of blowing through the. I don't know how much time you guys have, so I want to make sure we get to a song or two before I keep rambling on. So, you want to pick one or two or whatever you want to do?
we can play the song we were talking about that we're working on in the studio that kind of has like the different sultry and belty vibes. Do you want to play Heat?
Yeah.
I would like to do Already Gone Too. So I think that is I mean, if you have time. I got time. I think that is a
How to sing today.
I know. Hang on. I tuned before this is
La la la.
good. That's all I need.
Just trying to help.
Appreciate you. So the song's called Heat. It is about special time with your significant other. What is it? Spicy, right? That day. Took a cold that day. For now, with my gay foul, so it's baby. That's all. Me coming home. Well, I'm not be there. Not be the prettiest thing. That was high society. You see on my toes. You don't handle I'm side misbehaving. I'm here for you, honey. Yeah, I'm here for the taking. You think I'm on. Down here, you know, it's you.
Yeah, that was spicy.
That's what we're going for.
I'm gonna need some antacid after that one. That was no, it was really. I heard the angry part too. Talbot was right. You did sing the angry part. So it was definitely easy to find your parts on these songs, right? You know, I can. You know what the vibe of the song is.
Yeah, yeah. I also feel like we're depending on what key it is, it makes it a lot easier.
Hmm.
Sometimes the keys are difficult to find harmonies, but that wasn't easy. For the most part.
So that's a new one that you're working on. What else is coming up? What's on the horizon?
We're doing one at a time. We do know what we want to record next after the one we're currently recording, but
Mhm.
we kind of jumped in and did like the album thing, and I think honestly, just like to keep the relevance building, I think it's better for us where we're at to like do a single type thing, which we released a lot of singles off of our album, but I think this time we're just gonna kind of push
Take it a little bit
single
slower.
time. Yeah,
Not really rushing
we were
Understand.
very aggressive first.
Yeah, we were just
Go.
super excited. Our
Yeah.
first album, and
Well, it sounds
I
like
love it. That's not... Go ahead.
it sounds like your sound changed a little bit from when you made that first album to now. It seems like your end goal seems a little bit different now than what it was then.
Definitely, I think from our EP for sure.
Mm.
From our EP for sure. Yeah, even our last album. Well, and I think we're using the same producer, Tim Lightyear, and I think we're more comfortable with the studio process. And we're more comfortable with him just in general. Like it feels like such a collaborative environment. It's not like
Right.
not very demanding when we get in the studio, and neither is he. We kind of go back and forth on our ideas. And I think the longer we do this, the more we're not afraid to kind of speak up and be like, I don't like that. Let's try something else. Or, like, this is not really the vibe that we're going for. Can we experiment a little bit? So I definitely think our next album and our next few singles are going to sound a little bit different. So.
Are different as in more rock and roll sounding than before? You were talking about your live show. You like to kind of keep it rocking, so that's why I was wondering if you were aiming for that on your album too. I know that was a pretty good.
I wish we had such a definite answer. Honestly, I don't know, because I love that our live shows are more rock and roll. I love that our live shows are so high energy and we get so into it and it's so performative. But if I'm thinking, like, what do I want to listen to? What song do I want to turn on when I get in my car? I'm leaning more towards a like groove, jazz, funk kind of thing, and so I'm evolving as well.
Yeah, and I think we do have a little bit of a different idea.
I was gonna say that's another thing about being a duo is that like on one hand we get to share all of the opinions and all of the suggestions, but at the same time we have to share all of the opinions and all of the suggestions. So yeah, like we have to kind of mesh our own styles of music, and sometimes it can be hard.
Yeah,
and
sometimes
like
you got that song, then like the one we're gonna record after that, I feel like is kind of a different style, but yeah, and it still fits. But
so really at this point, So really, at this point, y'all are kind of playing more for the whatever song it is you're working on than a certain style or a certain song. Does that make sense?
It's kind of hard to find what our sound is.
Yeah,
like we like it, honestly, but
probably isn't beneficial for the big picture of it.
I mean, that's true. At the same time, I would rather make music that I like listening to than trying to fit into a certain sound.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's where it does get kind of muddied because we don't have the same 100% taste in music. We don't have the same songwriting styles. We don't have the same view on how everything should be recorded. So what you're hearing from Della Rose is kind of a mesh of all of that. So yeah, it's hard to say what our sound really is.
Yeah. But do you
like rock, folk, country, Americana?
It's folk and rock. That's what it is. Folk and rock. So one, Tim Lightyear is actually going to be on the podcast too, so that'll be fun to talk about that. We'll get the dirty on how y'all are in the studio. Let's get the dirt behind that. The cat fights in the studio. We'll make a note on that right now.
It's honestly a lot of this. It's
what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Actually, it's like, I want to do this. No, that sounds like shit. Let's do this. No, I don't like that. Let's do that.
So Tim earns his money, is what you're saying.
Tim what?
Tim earns the money he's making, right?
Oh.
Just yeah. All right. What about your band? Is that? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what about the band? Are you able to take the band that you're touring with on in the studio at this point, or are you still just making it happen? However you can make it happen.
At this point, they've been with us for everything.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah.
Does that help on that creative process? Being able to have that familiarity between everybody.
I think so, and I think it's also just. It was a really good bonding process too, as a band, being in there and hashing out the smallest details. And I think it was a lot of growth too, because you get into a studio where you can hear every single drum sound, it makes you learn new styles and play a little differently and stuff. So I think it was beneficial for sure.
Instead of just rehearsals and the hour show.
Yeah, Yeah. Well, I think the collaborative environment in general, like even if you're not like physically tracking your own sound, just being there to say, I mean, even if you're a guitar player or a vocalist and you're like, oh, something sounds off on that drum beat, or like, can we do it like that? Like just being there together and putting all of our input on a song, I think is important. Um, but yeah, they've been with us. They've been with us for everything. So
Yeah,
it's been a very
that's
group
great.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I guess just more time together in general is going to build a better product, and especially if you get along. You know, if you guys
Yeah.
vibe together, the more hours you get to spend, the better that's going to be.
And I think I honestly think it adds a lot to our live shows too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not just our songs. It's not just like, and it's not just the way that we play them. It's like you can genuinely see that we love what we do, and we're all kind of vibing off each other and having a good time with each other. And I think that really comes off to the crowd. It's like, and I know me as an audience member, when I go see a band, my favorite bands are the ones that I see that they love what they do. Like it's not just like they're trying to perform or they're trying to do what the crowd wants. Like they're genuinely just having a good ass time playing their music. Like those are the bands I love the most, and I feel like that's what our band is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that, I mean, I agree. It stands out. You can really tell the ones that are not to say that the hired guns in bands can't be your friends, because a lot of times that circle gets small and they are your friends. But when you're a
Yeah.
band, it shows through.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the first one that came to mind anyway was that I see every time they come through town is American Aquarium. I know he's been through a lot of different folks in that band, but they still together for a long time, and you can tell they enjoy the time on stage. Um, a lot of guys like that, to be honest. It just shows. Um, well, I know you have jobs and parental responsibilities and all that stuff, so I won't keep you much longer. But oh, you're hiding in the camper. You're better here than you are in the house, right?
You want to talk for another hour? Like we can make it work. No.
We're working. Leave mommy alone. We're working.
Yeah, we're working.
I got you. Okay. Well, we didn't really talk a lot about the early years of either one of you, but just as kind of some random questions. In high school, what were your favorite bands or artists? Who were you digging on, like in junior year of high school?
Yeah, I don't.
It can be embarrassing. It's okay.
So, it's not embarrassing. I remember very. So
Okay.
I love country music, but I was not raised on like Willie, Waylon, Merle. Like my parents were rockers, 100%.
Hmm.
So I don't know a lot of the classic country that I feel like is almost like
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, we should cover this. She's like, what? I'm like, oh,
almost a requirement to be in country music today. I don't know a lot of that country. So when it wasn't, honestly, because I grew up in very small town Texas, it wasn't until high school that I got into the Texas country scene that was like Eli Young, Casey Donahue, Kyle Park, Josh Abbott, like that whole
Yeah.
thing. I
Hmm.
lost my mind over Eli Young. They were my 100% favorite band. I sang one of their songs at my high school graduation. And again, this was before I technically sang in front of people. So I naturally did a very terrible job. I wore sunglasses inside in a dark theater. I sang this terrible. It was a good song. I sang the good song terribly, and but no, high school. Those were my influence. I honestly think that. I mean, I'm appreciative because I think that's what got me into like Texas music and like the whole scene was this group of people. But yeah, when I was in high school, it was Eli Young, Casey, Wade, Josh Abbott, that whole kind of scene. Because I hadn't really grown up on that
Yeah.
before. I was a country girl. And I just like assumed this country girl position. Yeah.
So what kind of rock and roll were you listening to before the country?
I'm sorry.
What rock and roll were you
What
listening
was
to?
some of your go-to rock and roll before the country?
So I did a lot of construction work with my dad. And he just turned on like the classic rock station on the radio. So
I
it
got
was
you.
a lot of like AC/DC, Creedence Clearwater,
You
Aerosmith,
stand, yeah.
Styx, that kind of thing. You know.
I got you.
So,
There's no
Yeah.
wrong answer on that one. So.
not right. Yeah, that was me.
Classic rock is all good.
All right. So who was your? What were you listening to in high school?
In high school, well, okay, let me start a little younger. It was in high
Uh-oh.
school.
I know.
So I was like the Jeds and Dixie Chicks, like when I was young. Me and my sisters my grandma and mom used to make us sing for anybody and everybody. So we were always singing the Jeds and the Dixie Chicks. And so I think that was like what my first like musical like influence was.
Mm-hmm.
But high school, I mean, I was a hardcore Ring fan. I was like, I think it was the Revolution album came out, and I was like, I'm gonna learn every song on that album, and that's when I started playing guitar. I mean, I just was like, I'm gonna learn every single song, and so I taught myself how to play off that. So, what's that? Something like Ellen. He's like, yeah, like Miranda Lambert.
Okay, but I'm Miranda Lambert.
So
I
what
remember
about Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I remember we would go to my grandma's house sometimes, and I have like a ton of siblings, and my oldest sister would put on CMT, and we like all of us hated her. We did not want to watch country music videos because we were kids, and like we just never listened to that. So in a sense, that was kind of my first introduction to music. Like
Was
in the
hating it.
90s, listening to Chattahoochee and friggin', but no, I just thought that was a funny story. We always hated her for putting it on country music, and now I'm a country music singer.
Yeah. So does your sister come and like boo you at your shows now? Like, like didn't pay back?
Don't go at all.
Sure. Well, that's the way it usually goes. Yeah, that's okay. All right. So who was your first concert? Uh-oh.
My favorite ever was the Blockbuster event that they had at Texas Motor Speedway with like the Wallflowers and No Doubt. And I was like 5 years old in the mosh pit. My mom hid me in her station wagon in the back, hid me under a blanket and snuck me in. And I was like on some weight guy's shoulders, 5 years old in the mosh pit, just jamming out to like No Doubt on the wall. I don't even remember who else was there. I just remember that. And I remember
So
that was the
you were
first time
singing
I ever
"I'm Just a
saw.
Girl."
Yes. That was the first time I ever saw a boy's butt. I will never forget.
Very too messy.
Like all these kids were like up on the cage, and they all like were just mooning everybody in the mosh pit, and I was traumatized. Honestly,
It was at that time I knew what I wanted to do with my life.
I actually got tickets to go see Leanne Rimes shortly after that, and I was terrified, and so I gave the tickets away because I thought there was gonna be a mosh pit at the Leanne Rimes concert.
Mosh pit breaking out in the middle of Blue.
Yeah. So yeah, my first introduction.
So this is not in keeping with my rock and roll upbringing. We have like my first concert was for my 16th birthday. My parents got me fifth row at a Jonas Brothers concert.
Okay.
And no regret. It was amazing. I was a Disney
No
girl.
regrets.
Yeah, I was a girl that was a Disney girl. You what?
No regrets. That's all right.
None at all.
Well, Taylor Honeycutt's first concert was NSYNC, so y'all were right there, together. So It's
If
close.
it's his brother.
In the same neighborhood.
Handsome too. But no, I went to the Jonas Brothers right after Camp Rock came out, and I was obsessed with Camp Rock. And they had the cast like open for them. Oh, it was amazing. I still have their merch shirts. So.
Well, do you want to do another song before we hop out of here? You can pretend like you're still working in the camper too when this goes off. You don't have to, run back inside. You can.
Okay, so in your professional opinion,
Uh-oh.
would you rather hear a cover or an original?
Well, for one, I don't really make any money, so professional goes out the window. But honestly, I would like to hear whatever you would like for everyone to hear, to know you. I know that doesn't really answer your question, but the whole point is for me anyway is to show what you got. So Talbot says,
I know now.
yeah, Talbot says an original.
Or burn it up. Pulled out a Jonas Brothers song right now. Okay. What are we gonna do? Oh, well, kick your ass in. Oh no.
I don't know any songs.
No. My car. Hey. She's a lefty. I'm a righty. What time? Hold on. Go inside. I don't know what a cape is. I don't know what a cape is. Okay. What we do? Not prepared.
Yeah, it's completely up to you. Whatever you want to do.
We have a problem.
Okay.
Well, did we go to the capo? We don't have a capo. Yeah. Yes, we can. Absolutely. Well, I'm done. Me. Then you said we didn't.
So, does he have another question?
Yeah, I do. The most important question of the podcast, so I want to make sure I get that asked and don't forget it. So this, it'll kill a little bit of time here. What is your favorite Little Debbie cake?
Oh, hands down, Omo cream pie.
Oh my God! Hands down! Nothing compares. Oh, no, cream pie. Is that what?
He said that would kill a lot of time. We were like,
Well, that doesn't kill much time there. Maybe kill some calories or add some calories, but so is both oatmeal cream pies?
Oatmeal cream pies. Yeah.
the rest
Okay.
are trash. Sorry. Cancel me. I don't care.
I wouldn't say that. Are zebra cakes Little Debbie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So aren't they
they're
anything on the snack cake?
okay, hang on.
Yes.
The Christmas tree cakes. So that's a close second.
Canola oil frosting in the middle.
Oh my
So
gosh.
shut
So
up.
looking for Jesus. Oatmeal cream pie is one. Christmas tree cakes. I don't know why they hit different. I don't know if it's the sprinkles.
No, we've had this spirited debate several times. A lot of people say that they're the same as a zebra cake, and I say that must taste better for everybody because of the Christmas spirit that is in there, that they put in those Christmas tree cakes in October when they make them. Like that's got to be the reason behind all of it. So the folks that are on TikTok and anybody that listens to this, make sure you follow Della Rose on all the social platforms and everywhere that you stream your music, whether that's Spotify or Apple or whatever. Go ahead.
That is Christmas food. We are in the search of a capo because that's how we play guitar.
I understand. It's okay.
I think we're doing it originally.
Okay. I got you. So
Just playing. Bring my guitar.
The song that you played earlier, when are you thinking you're going to try to release that? The spicy song.
Uh, I think we are trying to push for maybe August, September. So, because we literally almost have it done. We just need to add the sprinkles on it. So,
It, it-
but yeah, so it's almost done.
and then
We've
as
already laid vocals and everything on it.
and then as far as when you do you kind of have a goal of how long you want to wait for the next one, or are you just going to kind of make the next song and roll with it from there?
We have some fly by the seat of our pants coming out, and by the seat of our bank account. So,
Understood.
I so respect people that are like, yeah, we're gonna release this single this month and the next single in October, and then the album's gonna come out in November 2025. Like, I think that's so cool. We are not that way. We just, whenever we can afford to record it, we record it, and then we release it. So
we just do our best. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, these days the formula keeps changing anyway. So just because you had that plan when you start in the studio doesn't mean that that plan is going to be the best plan when you get done. So it's an ever changing target these days. Did you find the capo?
got it, but you can't see it, so you don't even know if I'm using one.
It's okay. It's magic.
So we did this one that we actually released it on our album. It was the last song on the album. It's the only acoustic song on the album. We cut it raw, like in the studio, with just us singing and then the guitar. But yeah, so this was called Already Gone. It's just about being in a bad relationship, and y'all both still just kind of butting at it, but you realize like y'all left a long time ago. So. Takes time to change some things. Take you moving by the way. Not proud, not pain. It keep coming. It will miss, it will lose. How could I give up so no. That's your, I miss it. Right. Be choice now, God. I it's the only way we please believe I wanted to come back. Keep thinking, there's nothing more. Baby, that's all I miss in life. We had things we see. I miss I forget in life.
Yeah, man, that was really good.
A little different vibe than the first one.
Well, I still think even with the rocking band or just doing what you're doing, you could make a room shut up and listen. So kudos on that for sure. Um, you have it going on with the harmony parts and the heartstring lyrics and all that stuff. So yeah, all the chat was talking about it being beautiful and everything. So I told them they were lying, but you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And what a fitting song to say goodbye to, right?
We're already gone, baby. Probably should have been.
uh, well, Della Rose, I appreciate y'all hopping on the podcast and everything. It was good to meet y'all, even if we're 10 or 11 hours away from not East Texas. And yeah, hopefully one of these days I'll be able to get out there and see some music live. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, probably have. Would love to see you.
All right. All right. I'm just gonna. We'll just leave it at that. Just remember when y'all when you sign out and everything to let it load. It says I don't know exactly how it looks on your phone, but it has like a 99% or something that'll show you that it's uploading.
Okay, cool.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, this one's
So we're still on TikTok and everything. The comments that a lot of people have had a lot of good things to say. So Matt Willis in the chat there. Yes, I did ask them the important question. The answers were oatmeal cream pie and zebra cake. Still nobody. Matt despises Star Crunches. He's he,
Oh,
he
no. Here's the thing about Little Debbie. You asked me that question, but I haven't had Little Debbie snacks since I was a kid. What about those? It's not Nutter Butter.
so sad.
What's the?
What are you doing with your life?
No, oh my God. What's the Nutter bars or
The
wafers?
Nutty Buddy.
I thought Nutter Butters were the cookie.
Yeah.
Oh, the peanut butter.
Nutty Buddy is the 2 bars in the package.
Nutty Buddy. Okay. Those
And you have to put those in the refrigerator.
Ooh.
That's the secret there. Yep.
And you gotta put honey buns in the microwave.
I guess I'm not a huge honey bun person, but Yeah, listen to the diabetic to give you advice on Little Debbie's. Just saying. That's the ironic part about all that.
Listen, I'm hungry now.
All right. Well, yeah, don't go buy a bunch of Little Debbie's.
Yeah,
All right, y'all. I appreciate the time. Best of luck to you and everything you got going on. I was a fan of. I say it just about every time I meet folks on here. A fan of what you got going on Spotify, but then meeting you puts the faces and the personalities with it, and I think you made everybody that's at least that I see, even bigger fans. So.
Oh, that's great. Sometimes we're worried.
All right. Well, y'all have a good evening, and you can pretend like you're still working in the camper, so you don't have to go clean up the house or anything. So just tell God, who knows that podcast is going to last 3 hours.
I know, right? He just kept talking.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right. Bye.